Hi there, this is H. Victoria Hoggrow Atkerson. I'm an author and a writer, and I would like to invite you to go to my website to look up my latest book, which is Buttermilk Bottom. And I believe the first chapter of that book is on that site, so you can get a good sampling of my writing. Also, you can get my books from Amazon.com and Barnes and Nobles, and you can also get it on Kindle. So be sure to look me up. I do historical romance written from the Black perspective. So take a look at it and experience some wonderful love stories. That's what I do, historical romance. So it's really great. Now, today we're going to be looking at this book, Walking Among the Kudzu. And if you saw any of my previous broadcasts, we talked about kudzu vines and how completely they cover everything. So do me a favor, if you have many questions, or if you want to see what it looks like, I want you to look at one of my flash chats. I think it's the latest one. We did a slideshow on kudzu vines, how they grow, and how completely they cover anything they touches. They smother everything. So take a look at that, okay? Now, I'm going to be reading today from Walking Among the Kudzu. This cover was done by my nephew, Larry Anthony. Did an amazing job. I have so many wonderful artists in my family, and I love them. I just love them. So I'm going to be reading from chapter 1, okay? The story that I love to hear about my mother and my father was the one about their shopping sprees. According to Mama, it was almost unheard of for a colored woman to go on a real shopping trip at a downtown store, much less going to Marshall Field's top-of-the-line women's department. The first time Daddy took my mother on one of those fantasy excursions, the saleswomen pretended not to notice them. When Mama attempted to get one of the sales clerks to wait on her, they avoided her. After choosing a dress that she loved, the sales clerk took the dress right out of Mama's hand, saying, "This dress costs $75. You want to go to the basement to get what you want." Mama said that the sales clerk's nose was held high, as if her black body fouled the air. "I don't want to go to no basement, damn it. I want this dress," Mama yelled as her temper raged out of control, snatching the dress back from the rude white woman. Her voice was loud and rang out throughout the women's department, causing several sales clerks to appear and assist in the crisis. "The basement may have just what you want. Most of your people go downstairs," another white salesperson advised with the same superior attitude. "If I wanted to shop in the damn basement, I would have gone down there," Mama replied in anger. I don't want to steal this shit. I want to buy it." She thought the police would come and kick her out of the store. The only thing that saved her was Daddy's calm, soothing manner, James Reed's superior mannerism, quiet approach, and the fact that he whipped out a roll of cash as big as his fist put everyone at ease. "Ladies, please," Daddy said calmly, peeling off a $100 bill. "I'm sure you can find a way to help my wife find what she needs." My mother, Florence Jean Reed, said that was when they lost their blackness and became green. Mama swore from that day on she never wished to be white again. She just wanted to be green because the color green opened doors for you that white never could. Those white folks who first thought of her as scum on the bottom of their shoe when they arrived began to treat her as if she was Eleanor Roosevelt instead of Florence Jean Reed from Tupelo, Mississippi. Their behavior change had been instantaneous. Those white folks waited on her hand and foot, and they could not do enough for her. From that time on, my father took my mother shopping once a year to buy whatever her heart desired. Mama says she loved expensive clothes, but what she loved best was watching those white folks bow and scrape. You see, that is one of the experiences most black women have had, especially during the 50s and 60s. So it's a very colorful hint of what blacks had to put up during those times, okay? Let's see, I'm going to be reading another part. I think we'll go to part 2 because I want you to get a gist of the relationship between this young woman and her mother. So, and this is like the nucleus of the story. So I want you to listen carefully to this part. The memories of my childhood hang in the air like icicles, etched in my mind and on the person I thought I was at the time. Looking back, I feel a great sorrow for the little girl that I was, and my eyes dampen when I feel her pain. Her pain did not come from beatings or any other physical punishment. It came from years and years of indifference and neglect. Her constant pain was comfortable for her because she knew nothing else. I knew nothing else. Unfortunately, in Mama's eyes, I was born with too many white features, hair that was too straight, and eyes made blue by some weird twist in my family's DNA, a fate that I had no control over. But in my mother's house, those features were traits of a freak. I may have gotten along better if I had a hump on my back, because my physical traits were an embarrassment to my mother, who constantly reminded me of my defects as she spewed out her endless complaints. So that's one of the problems that the mother and daughter has, because the mother is revolted by this child who looks white. So, and this child experiences complete frustration and alienation because the mother ignores her. So the father has died, and she's alone with this mother who does not like her, basically. And some people say, how could you not like your mother? People can dislike their mother. It's a reality. When I first started working with children, that was one of the things that it took me some time to grasp. But seeing the evidence unfold in front of my eyes daily, because I work with dependent, neglected children and also adjudicated delinquent children. So there are parents that children do not like, and parents who do not like their children. That's a staunch reality when you're working with children from various backgrounds, okay? I'm going to read also just a little bit of her mother's history here. Okay, here we are. Living with mother was strange, weird, and unsettling. Although we shared the same living space, I spent a great deal of time alone or with neighbors and friends, sometimes for days at a time. She said she sent me to stay with friends because she never was cut out to be a mother. She said sending me to a neighbor's house would guarantee my survival during those critical periods when she wanted nothing more than to kill me with her own bare hands. So that is the beginning of the story we set up, and the mention of Marshall Fields tells you it starts out in Chicago, and the reference to the icicles and how cold she felt, it relates to the weather, So the climate in Chicago is also a silent character in this book, as is the kudzu vines will be in when we reach the Atlanta part of the story. And from time to time, I will be reading you her impressions of the South as she goes, because she goes from Chicago to Atlanta, and her life unfolds from that. She really discovers who her family is. So this cannot be missed. Do me a favor and look it up. The kudzu vines are a silent character. And for those of you who are aspiring to write, you want to consider your environment as a part of your writing, and to incorporate that and the feelings that you would get from the environment. So take a look at this. It's a great novel. Now, again, before you go, would you do me a favor and like my channel and then subscribe to my channel? Your subscription will guarantee the fact that I will be here again to talk to you. And let's keep our electronic relationship going. Take care. Love to you.